Yeah. So thank you for warming up the room. We could use it, huh?
Yeah, what happened? It's like, it's winter here.
It is winter. We're early in winter, but everything's happening early in the month. In fact, for those of you who are regulars at Astrology Night, the first Wednesday next month is January 1st. Our contract for Rick and I, the Astrologers Union, we're not allowed to work on the 1st, even if we want to. So the next Astrology Night will be January 8th.
It'll be, instead of the first Wednesday, it'll be the first Wednesday after New Year's Day. And while we're talking about January, let's begin this evening, with a warm welcome to everyone here at SoulFood Books here in Redmond, Washington for Astrology Night. But while we're looking ahead to January for just a moment, we would like to tell you about our annual retreat done at Brighton Bush Hot Springs, which is a magnificent treasure of the Northwest. It's about an hour east of Salem, Oregon, which is about an hour south of Portland, Oregon. And this will be Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, the weekend of January 10th, 11th, and 12th. So you can come here for Astrology Night on Wednesday the 8th, take a day off, and then join us down at the Hot Springs, down at Brighton Bush Hot Springs, for a look at the astrology of the year ahead. We'll do kind of what we do here, but for an entire year, and then we spend the weekend working with individual charts on a hands-on basis, and it's a lot of fun. This will be our 6th or 7th year or something. We've lost count.
And to find out more, go to brightonbush.com. That's BREITEN Bush.com. It's an amazing place. We hope you can come to our seminar, but if you can't, go to Brighton Bush. It's a treasure. It's an amazing experience. Totally off the grid. They make their own electricity there. It's a conscious community with just an amazing environment. So it's a good way to get your new year going, or if you can't come in January, get your new year going in July when it's nice and warm there. All right, for those of you who are new to Astrology Night, the quick overview, Rick and I are going to talk about the cosmic weather, the larger collective astrological patterns for the month of December. You each have your own charts, your own lives, your own astrological stories that are unique to you, but we also share the collective cosmic weather, and that's what we're going to be talking about tonight for about 45 minutes or so. Then we will take a short break, after which we will look at the individual horoscopes of 3 people here. If you'd like us to look at your birth chart, put your first name, your time, your date, and your place of birth on a piece of paper, fold it up, toss it on that round table there, and we'll do a little drawing during the break, and we'll get to look at 3 of your charts.
So, welcome to the last month of 2013. And another month that has a very different beginning and ending. We've had a few months in a row now where either the beginning was really tough and then it ended smoothly, or like this month, the beginning is rather smooth, but it ends on a tough note. We'll work our way there.
Or maybe to have a happy ending, we can start with the end of the month.
And work backwards.
And work.
Well, we can't do that because Mercury isn't retrograde. Otherwise, we could.
All right. So what we're talking about here, and there is that phenomenon every month with the sun changing signs somewhere between the 18th and the 22nd of the month, depending upon the month, depending upon the year, so that we do have that 2/3 of one sign and 1/3 of another sign every month.
Yeah, but this month it's harder because our hopes are elevated when the sun is in Sagittarius. And so in the movement of Sagittarius into Capricorn, I think it's all wrong, because we're getting closer to the holidays and we're supposed to be excited and joyous, and then a few days before Christmas, right on the winter solstice, that's when the energy shifted, and it feels like it shifts astrologically in the wrong way.
In a very powerful way. And just as a preview, if you're planning on traveling far to see your family for Christmas, don't bother. You can fight with them by phone. You can curse at each other with Skype. You can throw things at one another metaphorically.
And you can't travel with weapons anymore anyhow.
Right. So, as you will hear later on this month, you might want to reconsider your plans. But, as Rick pointed out, we start out optimistically, because optimism is what Sagittarius is all about.
And we should probably start with the new moon, even though it was a couple days ago.
The new moon, which begins the monthly cycle, this one of course is the new moon in Sagittarius, that outgoing, enthusiastic, forward-looking and forward-thinking sign, which like all fire signs is not about reality as it is in the moment. It's the reality that we're creating within ourselves that we hope to achieve at some future moment. So we had not just the new moon on December 2nd, which really gives us juice and an enthusiastic and forward-looking Sagittarius, but that fiery energy, that positive energy of Sagittarius got an innovative twist from the planet Uranus.
Yeah, and we can look here at the chart of the moon and the sun in fiery Sagittarius. The thick blue line, the blue lines are all trines, 1/3 of a circle, or sextiles, 1/6 of a circle. The red lines are oppositions and squares. The angles between planets tell us a lot about the energy, and a trine channels energy. The energy moves uninterrupted, unimpeded, almost like a superconductive electrical circuit. And here that energy is coming from Uranus, the planet of shock and surprise. Uranus, the awakener. Uranus, the planet that releases pent-up energy, pent-up tension wherever it strikes. And Uranus is doing a 7-year stay in the sign of pioneering Aries, a fire sign. This new moon a couple of days ago was harmoniously trine to Uranus. Jeff said that fire kind of thinks about, how did you put it?
Well, it creates a picture of a reality that doesn't exist yet.
So fire, in a way, unlike earth signs, which are what we sense, unlike water signs, which are how we feel, unlike air signs, which are how we think, fire signs don't think, sense, or feel. They just act. They react instantaneously. There's a sense of fire just sustains itself. It does whatever it needs to do to keep the light going and to keep going. And with fire, there's a sense of the energy happens in the moment, and that fire of Sagittarius is aimed off into some possibility of the distance, channeled by the sense of immediacy in the moment, the energy popping in Uranus. This is a fun, I hope it was for you guys, but it's a new moon that does open up the potential for adventure and new experience.
Yeah, and it's highly intuitive. Even though the new moon is a couple of days behind us, we're certainly going to be feeling its influence, particularly while the sun remains in Sagittarius, which is until the 21st of this month. But you know what's interesting is that Sagittarius takes you to the other side of your world, or maybe even to distant worlds. But Uranus takes you out of this dimension. Uranus is beyond the bounds and the limits of this 3D reality. So one of the things that I think is quite useful about this new moon, and again, it's not too late, and we're going to be talking about Mercury shift into Sagittarius, which is today, I believe, as giving us another kick in terms of not just looking forward, but looking outside the reality that you know. Take the issues that you have in life, whether they're real hard problems that you're facing, or whether it's boredom or lack of motivation, and start making up crazy stories. Crazy
the crazier the better.
Right, because the crazier the story is, the freer you become. The further you are from this dimension, from this level of reality, and that's a stretch of the brain. And even if that crazy picture that you have or come up with can never possibly come true, there may be places along that road that can come true. And this is a time to sort of stoke the fires of imagination, of creativity, and of intuition, and reality need not be a boundary for your thoughts.
Right, and just adding on to what I said before, intuition is that direct, there's no thinking. Intuition is direct, and that's what fire does. It engages directly. But remember, the symbol of Sagittarius is the arrow of intention aimed off into the heavens. Sagittarius is just Latin for the archer, and the archer is aiming the thought of potential, of possibility, into the unobstructed heavens. So with Sagittarius, you often have an energy that involves foreign countries or things from far away. Why? Because when we do something that's outside of our regular patterns, when we go far, we have to make it up as we go along. We can't hold on to our old Gemini, which is the opposite of Sagittarius. We can't hold on to those patterns that we kind of go back to, the steps that we know in the dance. If we're in a foreign country and they're playing foreign music, we have to learn new steps. In fact, we were talking about earlier, Jeff and I were, that you know the old high school thing, most likely to succeed? Well, Sagittarius is the most likely to exceed.
And to speed, both.
Well,
to drive too quickly.
But I think Aries has being an Aries, I think we have part of the
but I think
likely to speed.
The point is, if you're not exceeding your ordinary reality right now, you're not doing your job.
Agreed. I agree.
You're not doing your job. And that's part of Sagittarius as well, is the willingness to make mistakes. Sagittarius is the half man, half horse, and mostly horse's ass. And if you're not engaging your horse's ass, if you're not putting the full belief in your own stupid ideas out there, then you don't get to Sagittarius University and learn by the mistakes. The intelligence of your own stupidity is something that's worth exercising now. Sagittarius is a sign, it's known for honesty. But it also is the biggest bullshitter of the zodiac. But what those two things...
Exaggitarius,
right. What those things have in common is expanding the boundaries of where we are right now. And as long as you're not doing that with your tax return, or with your medication, it's a worthwhile experiment.
Now, I want to just put something out there that we'll come back to in a few moments, but this is part of the magic of this month. Because in astrology, every planet relates to a sign and every sign relates to a planet. The planet of expansion and big ideas and the Sagittarius planet is Jupiter. And Jupiter this month is moving toward a trine with Saturn that is exact
on the 12th.
Exact on the 12th. So we have about a week from today where this energy builds, but it's a background energy of the month that really allows us to exceed and exaggerate more than normal and do something with it rather than just fall off the edge of the map.
Join Rick Levine and Jeff Jower for their annual forecast seminar at beautiful Brighton Bush Hot Springs, Oregon from January 10th through 12th next year. For details, go to brightonbush.com. That's BreitenBush.com. Join astrologers Jeff Jower, Alan Oken, Aaron Sullivan, and Lauren Albandian for the Wisdom of Astrology Conference from March 29th to April 4th, 2014 in Santa Fe, New Mexico. For details and registration, go to alanoken.com or click the link on the front page of stariq.com.